I have Sarah from Saraden Designs here with me in studio. Welcome, Sarah.
Hi Liz, how are you?
Thank you so much for coming in.
No problem.
So Sarah is a fashion blogger and fascinator designer. So first of all, Sarah, can you tell our listeners a bit about yourself and what you do?
Okay, well, in college I studied sculpture out in Dunleary, and while I was there I created this fabric. So after I kind of finished college, I did a few interns and I kind of went into the fashion world, and then I decided, do you know what, I'm going to kind of see what this fabric can do on the side. So I decided to experiment, started making a few hats, and then I got made redundant basically, and I said, you know what, I'm going to go out on my own and I'm going to start a fascinator business. So I'm now a milliner. I have my online store on my website, and now you can buy all my designs online, which is all handmade and all the fabric's handmade and everything. And then as well, I decided to start a fashion blog, which is called Saraden Says, which is as well on my website, and I just blog about everything fashion related, what you can buy. I was in London Fashion Week last week, so there's a few little blogs there about the shows I went to see and basically what I went to see in London.
So an insight of what you'd be experiencing as a designer.
Exactly. I went to a launch there on, I think it was Wednesday or Thursday in town in Paris Court. Chuppy, she was launching her autumn-winter collection. So I just went to that, and then you just go along and see what there is to offer, basically. It was great.
So I've actually seen some of her designs, and they're unique as well.
Yeah, they're gorgeous.
They're really nice. So I suppose what you actually were designing the fascinators first, and then the blog came after?
They kind of both happened around the same time, because I did work as a blogger for a company, and then I decided, you know what, I'm going to go out on my own, because I just love doing it, and I just got a great thrill out of doing it. So I said, right, I'm going to start my own blog, and I did, and it's been quite successful so far.
So did you always aspire to want to follow a creative career?
Well, my mum has been mad into crafts, so I've always done sewing since I was little. And then I started in college. I decided to study fashion and textile design, and said, no, I don't like it as a career, I like it as a hobby. Went on and studied sculpture, got a degree in sculpture, and now I've done a whole 180 and come back to fashion. So it's in my blood.
Great, so like you were basically raised...
I was raised with crafts, make
crafts.
Everything.
So there was no doubt that you were going to have some kind of involvement.
Exactly. I mean, Christmas time, we have a whole room made of Christmas decorations. It's all handmade Christmas decorations. That's how mad we are about making everything. And it kind of runs the family. My sister's a painter, my dad's a DIY nut, my mum just crafts. Everything's handmade at home. So it didn't lick it off a stone as such.
Yeah. Sounds great though. Sounds like a very artistic household.
Very artistic household.
So can you tell us about your design process? What inspires you?
Do you know, most of the time the designs kind of come to me just as I'm about to fall asleep. So I always have a little notebook beside me so I can just kind of jot down little ideas. And I don't always go in with a full idea knowing what I'm going to do. It's kind of a 50% understanding, because the fabric it's so hard to kind of see how it's going to work out, because each piece comes out different. No fabric will ever be created the same. So I have to make the fabric first, and then I kind of see how flexible it is, what I can do with it, how I can stiffen it, what does shape I want it to go in. So I kind of go in with a 50% understanding of how it's going to work, and then sometimes it's completely different by the end process. It doesn't look anything how I imagined it, but then I'm happy with it. But then if I'm not happy with it, I will literally take it all apart and start all over again. So very fussy.
Very fussy. Well, I suppose you need to be when it's your own business.
Exactly.
What kind of materials do you use?
Well, I don't tell anybody how I make my fabric, but it's all made from other fabric types, and then I shred them all and then make my own fabric from all that.
And say when you create the fascinator, like what kind of add-ons
there could be beads, there could be pieces of metal, let's say, feathers, diamantes, anything really. It just kind of, I make the hat and then I see, it needs a bit of this, it needs a bit of that, and then I just kind of add and take away as I go along.
Great. Is there a celebrity or someone that you'd love to see wearing one of your designs?
Victoria Beckham. I love Victoria Beckham. I love her fashion. I love her style. I went to her store last week in London, and I just thought it was absolutely amazing. So I would love if she wore one of my designs. Hopefully someday.
Yeah, you never know.
Exactly.
We might be seeing something from you in a magazine.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
Very soon, maybe.
Is there, we said a celebrity, but is there a designer or a milliner, like maybe, or a fashion designer that would inspire you, that you've looked at their work and you've thought, I'd love to do something like that.
But Philip Tracy, because he thinks outside the box and he's a bit mad with his designs, and I really like that. I'm not someone that kind of thinks inside the box. The more elaborate the better, the madder the better, basically.
So I suppose that term Mad Hatter
exactly, perfect, because perfect.
Fit, yeah. So would you ever consider a design collaboration with a big company? I just see, for example, not a hat designer, but a designer, an independent designer. Joanne Hines now has a collaboration with Dunnes Stores.
Yeah.
Would you ever see yourself doing something like that?
I could do in the future, yeah. I'd love to do a bridal collection next year, so that could be something, team up with someone, do a nice bridal collection. I also make bridal bouquets with my fabric as well, so I could have like a whole big bridal collection with some, like, I don't know, Debenhams or something, some big store, and
definitely.
they could stock my items.
Yeah, I think it could happen. I've seen some of these designs and they're lovely. So.
Thank you.
Very unusual. Okay, so tell us a bit more about your blog.
Okay, so I blog basically, I just kind of come up with an idea. Like I put up a post yesterday about over-the-knee boots, because basically I'm going to London again next week and I need some over-the-knee boots, and I was looking online and seeing all these lovely over-the-knee boots, and I was like, do you know what, I'm going to do a blog post about it, and kind of shows people where you can buy boots, different price ranges. Some people might be kind of more high street, some people might be more designer, so I kind of try hit 2 price points, and then you can just literally click on the pictures and they'll take you to the online store where you can buy the products then. So I kind of promote shops as well, different. I like to kind of stick Irish a lot of the time, but then you kind of have to go a bit outside the box, America, England, that kind of thing as well, just for shopping.
So you want to have diversity.
Exactly. Just kind of, again, the price points is a huge thing. I mean, just a lot of people kind of like to go, example, pennies, and some people like to go designer Victoria Beckham, you know, so I'd kind of have both designs there on my blog.
So everyone's price range is covered.
Exactly, it's suited to everybody. Everybody can shop on my website. So
I suppose when you're going to these events, like as you were saying, Chuppy. Chuppy's, like, she had the jewellery event, so you blog about these as well. So I suppose being a designer, you get invited to these kind of things.
Exactly.
And then of course then it gives you material to blog about. So another thing just related to that, what would be your future aspirations for your blog and business?
Well, Suzanne Jackson's a huge Irish influence nowadays with her Sociomi blog, and I would love to be as big as her. Hopefully I will be as big as her. I'm not quite the same as her blog-wise, and obviously I'm a designer as well, so I kind of go more into the design aspect. But it would be great to be as big as her now, and I have an exciting event next week. I've been accepted into London Hat Week, so one of my designs is on display in London for a week. So I'm heading over next week to see it. The launch is next Thursday, so I'll be there and see my design on display.
So tell us what inspired you, that particular design.
You had to be either inspired by a painter, film or architect. You had to have either help from a sculptor, scientist, or collaborated with a paint designer, stylist, photographer. Somebody had to basically influence you with your design. So I was kind of looking online. I seen this painter called Victoria Horkin, and I loved her, the way it's all kind of like, I don't know what the word is, brush strokes, let's say. That's what her designs kind of all are, and it reminds me of how I use feathers in my hats and how they fall and everything. So I just started creating this hat with emu feathers, and they just kind of fell nicely, had my own handmade fabric in it, and then I just came up with the design and I entered it into you enter it in, and they choose 130 people from all over the world, and I got one of the places.
So that's a great achievement.
It's huge. I can't believe it, really. It's still kind of been a bit of shock.
And representing Ireland
exactly.
as well.
And I'm really all about represent Ireland, represent Irish people, support Irish designers. So I'm going to go over and represent
more
Ireland.
More importantly, Dublin and Dublin 15.
Exactly.
So, so I think that's it, really. Thanks so much for coming in,
Thanks
Sarah.
for having me.
And best of luck.
Thanks a million.
With London Hat Week. So we're going to have Caravan Palace now and Lone Digger.